Framing of a charge. In the framing of a charges, what is the content? What is the contents of the charge that we see here? Initial requirement under the code of the CRPC for a free and fair trade is to inform and accuse precisely and accurately of the offense which is charged so as to give him a fair opportunity to prepare for his defense. Such kind of things are mentioned in these sections. Section 211 related to the forms of the charge. Section 212 related to the contents of the charge. How the nature of the case is such that offense in a question cannot be described properly by the particulars as mentioned in the accused, the sufficient notice of the offense with which he is charged. Just the manner in which the offense was committed by the accused shall also contained in the particulars of the charge. Here, we have to maintain like this. All kinds of things we have to mention in the notice, which is given hand to the accused. In that notice, what kind of charge we have mentioned against the accused, such kind of charge, everything should be mentioned in the notice. Whether notice has such kind of charge particulars or not, that to be known very clearly and specifically. It shall be considered sufficient for the purpose of providing sufficient notice as to the accused of the offence which he is charged. Whether that is the sufficient charge or not. That is a sufficient charge or not. That should be known by the accused clearly. What kind of a charge is made against the accused? The charge should be the sufficient matter in the notice. According to section 211 of the CRPC, every charge under the code shall include 4 types of charges. Such kind of 4 types of charges are like this. Number 1, offense with which the accused is charged. That should be mentioned in the notice. Number 1. Number 2, if any law gives of the offense any specific name there is to the law. According to the law description that is charged, law name should be mentioned clearly. Only. Number 3, if there is no proper definition of the offense under the law, that does not give any specific name of the offense, so as to give the notice of the matter to the accused of which he is charged. If there is no specific name to that particular offense, at the time, that should be mentioned in the notice clearly. What kind of charge is mentioned made against the accused, such kind of charge should be mentioned clearly in the notice. Number 4, the law and the section of the law against which the offense is said. to have been committed. Illustrations of the section explains the above as follows. The law under the section of the law against which the offence is said. According to the offence side, the law under section of the law against the accused have been committed. How it is committed? That should be mentioned like this. For example, one illustration. If A is charged with the murder of B, it means that the offence is equivalent to the statement that the fact of A fell within the meaning of the definition of the murder, which is mentioned in section 299 and 300 of the IPC in 1860-45 that is mentioned. A did not fall within any of the general exceptions which are mentioned in the IPC. It also means that it did not fall in any of the 5 exceptions of the sections 300 of that. If it did fall within the exceptions, one or more than one of the provisions that exceptions apply to it. Under section 300, there are 5 exceptions. Among the 5 exceptions, one or more than one of the 3 exceptions, it is mentioned like this. That means that when the charge is framed against the accused, then it is equivalent to the statement that the accused which committing in the said offence has fulfilled every legal condition required to constitute the said offence in the particular case also. The said charge is being written in the language of the court. Here, every charge, what kind of charge is made against the accused, such kind of charge is mentioned in the notice clearly. If the notice should be fulfilled clearly, every condition, every particulars, and that should be mentioned in the legal, in the language of the court, legal language. Like that, we have to mention the notice and every particulars in the notice. About the particulars, the time, place and person. How? Like we mentioned like this. Under section 212 of the code, in order to give sufficient notice of the matter to the accused of which he is charged, then the charge shall contain the following. Here, under section 212 of the code, the sufficient notice of the matter of the accused of which he is charged with the 3 conditions. Number 1, time and the place of the alleged offence. What kind of time there is, what kind of place there is, place where there is the place, about the time, that should be mentioned in the notice or not. That should be clearly mentioned in the notice. Number 2, person against whom the offence was committed. who did the offense about the person. That is mentioned clearly or not. Or number 3, the thing in respect of which the offense was committed by the accused. In respect of which the offense was committed. Such kind of thing should be mentioned clearly. If any other way, if there is no possibility to mention directly, the other way, what is the other way? Any other way should be mentioned clearly in the notice. It should be noted in the case of any an offense is committed which is of the nature of the criminal breach of trust or dishonest misappropriation. When the exact amount of the question can be determined, then the said charge it shall be sufficient to specify the gross sum of money or movable property, as the case may be in respect of the which the offence was committed. If there is a movable property or the money, in that case, such kind of other matters, the offence is committed. That should be mentioned clearly. That is which the criminal breach of trust or dishonest misappropriation. That should be mentioned clearly in the notice. This is the other matter that should be mentioned in the notice clearly also. Like this way, the person should be committed in the offence. The contents of the charge and the forms, everything should be mentioned clearly in the notice. Whether rules and regulations are followed according to the law or not, that should be notice under section 211 and 212 of the code. Section 299 and 300 of the CRPC.